Anytime somebody sneezes, I think instead of saying excuse me, you should scream quiet at them. I think that that'd be a lot funnier. So this is my TBR for November. TBR means the big rump, or it means to be read, but I think the big rump is funnier. As a matter of fact, the big rump, that sounds like that could be a noir novel, some sort of thing, like the Big Sleep. I don't know. I'm fucking crazy and I'm still drinking my coffee. Let's talk about the books that I plan to read for November. As I'm slowly morphing like an animorph into booktuber territory. Um, just so you know, like I know I've been doing a lot of book content, but I'll always do the other stuff too. It's just I don't have any of that stuff to show you right now. I'm never going to be fully in one of these directions, right? Also, after I tell you my TBR, I'm going to show you all of the books I have, physical books, of which there are like five, so it's pretty pitiful, or six. But yeah, so let's talk about the books that I plan to read. I got them on this little piece of paper so I can remember. Also, very nice day today here. How is it where you are? How's the weather? I kind of wish it was colder, surprisingly. Also, oh my goodness, happy Halloween, everybody! How could I forget? I know it's Halloween. I gotta watch Halloween later. I'm gonna hand out some candy too. Everybody, happy Halloween. Okay, so what am I reading? Night Film by Marisha Pessl. Some of these I already told you about, but Night Film. I can't remember who recommended me that book, but I want to read the hell out of it. It just looks so intriguing to me, and as a matter of fact, it'll be here today. So another book that I got for $1. So and I'll have to get the ebook later on, but I got it for $1, and it's like a 600-page novel too. So I'm really excited to read that. Then I have Ohio by Stephen Markley, and I don't remember who recommended all these. I might have been Edward Lorne, one of his videos. He talked about it, and I thought it sounded intriguing. So I picked that one up. That one's like lost in the mail or something. I cannot find. I don't know what the fuck is going on with it. I can't. They keep changing the date it's arriving. Normally when a book or a purchase is like late, Amazon will say, oh, I know, fuck Amazon, but Amazon will say, oh, if your purchase does not arrive in like 2 days, then you can contact us for a refund. But they keep changing the date it's supposed to arrive. It's very strange. I've never seen that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one when it arrives next year or something. Next book is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, which will be here soon. I fucking loved The Only Good Indians. I thought it was fantastic. It was the first Stephen Graham Jones book I read, and I thought it was awesome. And his writing style is so unique and awesome and cool. Great adjectives I'm using, but yeah, I want to read this one, and I know that next year he's going to have a sequel to My Heart Is a Chainsaw called Don't Fear the Reaper, so that's exciting. I know that actually this one was a little more mixed than Only Good Indians. I know three people that I trust their opinion highly that did not like the book, but that's okay. I might like it, and I really like this guy. After I read Only Good Indians, I thought there's something going on in this guy's brain because you can't write like this and not be a creative character. So I watched a lot of interviews with him, and if you've never seen Stephen Graham Jones in an interview, he's such a cool guy. He's got a thick Texas accent, and his bedroom or his room he films a lot of interviews in. By the way, it's so bright in here I can't even see the screen, so I hope I'm not. It looks like I'm phasing out of reality, but this is what you get when I make videos before I finish my coffee. His book or his room is like full of fucking horror novels, and he's got like a Scream throw blanket on his recliner. He's just a cool guy. Sometimes it helps to learn about the author to kind of see where they're coming from, and it helps you get their work a little bit more. So I really, really, really like that dude, and I plan on reading virtually everything he's written. But I'm gonna start with My Heart Is a Chainsaw. Next is Fairy Tale by Stephen King. And I'll probably read it this month. I am interested. I heard really good things about it. I'm very ambiguous on, I don't know if that's the right term, but very on Stephen King these days. A lot of his recent work has not been doing it for me. It just feels like he's just doing it to do it. What was it? It was not End of Watch. What's the first book in the Hodges trilogy? Mr. Mercedes. I don't. That could have come out 10 years ago. I could be really behind, but I thought that was really good. But it was good, not great. No, I would say it was great, but it wasn't like a 5-star read. It was just a really solid book, and I read some of the second one. I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like the way he took it, but that's just me. So my point is that I don't know, and I don't like fantasy novels. So why am I going to read it? I don't know. I just heard really good things about it, and it's a long one, and I think Stephen King does better when he writes longer books. So we'll see. We'll see. The last one that I definitely want to read, although there's plenty, and these books, this is not going to get me through November, of course. There's one, two, three, four, five books in here. That's going to get me through like 2 weeks. The Imago Sequence by Laird Barron. There is a book I'm reading right now called Ashes and Entropy, and it's a short story collection that I want to say came out in 2018. So I think so. It's definitely not like brand new, but it's within the last couple of years. And John Langan, who I'd like to read his stuff, and Laird Barron, two authors that people have recommended me over and over and over again. Laird's story was like fucking nuts in the book, and I loved it. And I will review Ashes and Entropy when I'm done with it, the collection. It's very, very, very good. It's a very good short story collection. I'm also reading a short story collection by Juan Valencia called Poking Holes. If you're familiar with the book channel on here called Plagued by Visions, I believe is the name of it. He's the guy that runs that channel. That's a fucked up book, but it's pretty good, and I'll review those too. But the Imago Sequence, I thought I gotta just read more of it. I just gotta. This is the one that people say you gotta read, so I'm gonna check that out. And that's all I have like on my brain, but there's certainly more I'd like to read. And certainly, if you have suggestions, as I always like to hear from you, then go ahead and throw those down in the comments. I always like to hear, what you're reading and stuff, or, if you've been watching any good movies lately. What's your Halloween? If you have a Halloween tradition, what do you watch? I watch Halloween because it's perfect, but, what do you watch? You can tell me anything you want, and I will answer you. I will talk to anybody. Let me show you all the books I have. It's kind of pitiful. I used to have so many books that it would make your head spin, but I unfortunately have none of them anymore. A large portion of my collection was lent to somebody, and they never returned it. And sure, that was certainly stupid on my part, but these things happen. Lots of first printing Stephen King editions, not first edition, first printing. Yes, I said that correctly. First printing. I'm talking somebody went out to the bookstore in the 70s, bought this book, and it made its way to me, and I no longer have those books. It's so sad because some of those books are worth a lot of money. Not that it's about the money, but it was just really cool. I'm rambling. Anyways, let me just go through all the books I have. Like I said, it's very, very small because most of my books are in ebook format. The Mask. I'm sorry, you guys might not even be able to see what's on here. I can't see a damn thing. The Mask. This is a novelization of the movie. This is written by Steve Perry. Yeah, Steve Perry. Is Steve Perry like? I'm thinking of Joe Perry, right, from Aerosmith. Steve Perry though. That's that. I don't know. Steve Perry though, an author who writes a lot of like fantasy and young adult. I think he's in the back of the book. He's got like all of his. Oh, he did Aliens. He did. Did he do Aliens? No, he didn't. Oh yeah, he did Aliens. He wrote some Aliens books. Like the movie. Honestly, this is weirdly like young adult style, and the movie's not really like for kids. It's kind of like it's like a family movie, but it's a little edgy in some spots. But this reads like a young adult novel, so it's obviously an extremely simple read. But I got to be honest with you, it was not a bad novelization. It was pretty fun to read. I wouldn't say this is a hidden gem like novelization, like go out and buy this, but it was a pretty fun read. And the beginning of this book goes back in time and talks about Loki and the making of the mask and everything. It opens with a prequel like that, which I was not expecting, and I thought was kind of cool. I don't really have too many bad things to say about this. It's simple as simple can get. It's kind of for like middle schoolers and or high schoolers, but it's a fun read. As you can see, this is beat up to shit. This is a mass market paperback that I don't even want to open, honestly, because there's pages falling out. This is probably from like 1996. I got this from a library. The next one is Disappearance at Devil's Rock by Paul Tremblay, which I just read and reviewed. It was absolutely fantastic. Next, we have an Anne Rule book, Small Sacrifices, which I have not read yet. This is a mass market paperback. I'll do a video someday talking about the hardcover versus paperback fiasco. I prefer hardcovers, as I've said a couple times, but when it comes to paperbacks, for some strange reason, I prefer mass market paperbacks, which of course this is. It has some full color, not full color, but some photos in here. I got this last year. My work did Secret Santa, and of course I wrote I like books, which I'll be doing again this year. And my Secret Santa bought me this book, which is insanely generous and very nice. So I have not read this yet, but I do like Anne Rule. I know she's like popcorn true crime, but I don't really care. Her stuff's great. I read The Stranger Beside Me, if that's the one where she talks about knowing Ted Bundy, and that was a great book. So I don't know if like she's not respected or what, but I don't care. It was her that book was awesome. So I look forward to reading that one in due time. Next is this horrible tie-in cover of The Black Phone, which I've showed off. This is not called The Black Phone Stories. Really, it's 20th Century Ghosts by Joe Hill, and this is a very, very, very good short story collection that I'm about 2/3 of the way through. So I'll review that when I'm done. But it's very, very good. The next one is this really cool permabound, I guess you call this, when I don't know what the library bound, permabound, it's when they don't have a dust jacket. I seriously can't see shit. I hope you guys can see. This might be a failure of a video if you can't actually see what I'm showing you, but it's so goddamn bright in here. I guess I should just like close my windows, right? But that's not how I do it here. Charlie Bone, Midnight for Charlie Bone. If you guys have ever read these, let me know. I read this in high school, maybe middle school. When did this come out? I'm gonna check. This also is from the library. They just gave it away, 2002. So I was in middle school. So it's like very, very, very simple. This is like even more simpler than Harry Potter. And a lot of people said this book was like a Harry Potter ripoff because it's about a kid who goes to a school where it's like they call them endowed students, I think. I mean, I haven't read this well, actually, I read it like in 2002, and then I read it again when I got this like maybe 3 years ago. And like I said, it's a very simple read, and it didn't hold up. You know, like I can read Harry Potter again, and it's still fun. This one felt very young, very, very young, like elementary school level. But it's an interesting story. A lot of people said it was a Harry Potter ripoff because these kids go to the school for kids who have magical powers, and they wear cloaks, and it's like very much inspired by Harry Potter. But I read there's like a shitload of books. I haven't finished the series actually, because I think she wrote like Jenny Nemo was the author. She wrote 4 books, and then I feel like she took a break, and I just kind of gave up. Waiting, or I think I got to the age where I was kind of grown out of that series, and I never finished it. But there was like 8 books or something. One day I'd like to finish the whole series. I'd probably just get the whole series, but it's not too bad, honestly. I don't know if I recommend it now because it's really for kids. I mean, big time for kids, but it's nostalgic. And the last one I have, which I'm interested to read, but it's the second book in a series. Again, I got this for free from a library. Is Clive Barker, the man Clive Barker, who I love. I love some Clive Barker. This is Abarat or Abarat. It's like a children, maybe not children, but like a young adult fantasy series he had. And this is book 2, Days of Magic, Nights of War. So first off, this was given to me for free. Like I said, from a library. It's got that library cellophane wrapper on it. They've glued the dust jacket in, which is kind of fucking annoying, but it's in such good condition. It's gorgeous. This is why I like hardcovers. This is just, I can't see it, but it's a gorgeous book. I mean, it looks, I don't know if Clive himself did the artwork. I'm not sure. Does anyone know if Clive did the artwork? It like doesn't even say. But there's some artwork. I don't know what this book is about, and I'm certainly not going to read it because it's the second in a series. And I know this is for kids, but the artwork in here is gorgeous. It is really, really good. It has full color artwork, and I don't know. I just like having it. It's nice. So that's all my books. Yeah, like I said, tell me what you've been reading. If you have any suggestions for me, you know that I like horror. All sorts of horror. It can be transgressive, extreme horror. It can be psychological. I like everything, really. The only type of horror I find myself struggling with sometimes is like cosmic horror, which I know Laird Barron tends to write, but I'm getting into it though. I'm starting to like it. I think it's one of those genres that I never really read. I've not read a lot, and I just kind of wrote it off. And I read a couple of those kind of stories in that short story collection, Ashes and Entropy, and I was like, why am I sleeping on this? This is cool stuff. As a matter of fact, one of the stories I'm reading right now is Cosmic Horror, and it's done in a different way, and it's very interesting. But yeah, let me know what you've been reading and all that, and if you have suggestions, anything. And happy Halloween to everybody. Take care. Have a great day.